Hello everybody, I'm Dustin Benzel and welcome to a very special XY anime discussion. Today we're going to talk a bit more about Goodra, Ash's Goodra, and there's some theories going on, there's things that are going on that I really need to address. But before we get into that, I want to apologize a little bit for the audio. I'm not in my usual place that I make videos, so if the audio sounds a little funky this particular time, I apologize. Since I had the freedom to be able to make this video in a special venue, I thought that I would make it just for you. Just for certain aspects. Okay. Alright, let's get into this, shall we? Okay, so you all know about the rumors of Goodra and everything, at least I'm pretty sure, if you've been keeping up with your Pokemon information in the anime, as well as fan speculation and theories. But, in the case you don't know what's going on, let me just tell you what the theory encompasses. Right now there is a theory, a fan theory, that Goodra is going to be released from Ash's team. Now, that sounds a little strange, but, I mean, if you don't know, you're like, but Dustin, how could there be theories about this happening? Well, as it turns out, there is some information that possibly would lead someone to believe that Goodra is being released. So let's go through the information that we have so far. Now, I will admit that a lot of this information is out of context, and I will be posting images over here as usual of these certain aspects. I mean, a lot of this is text. There are some images that I can show. Okay, the first information that we have, which it basically revolves around Gumi's backstory. Now, if you recall of the few episodes that Gumi has shown up, you will know that Gumi has had a horrible, tragic past before it ended up with Ash. In fact, this happened right around the time that Ash met with Gumi. What we have is Gumi in the what we have in Gumi's past is we have all these bug Pokemon attacking Gumi's little pond oasis sort of habitat, however you want to call it, by bug Pokemon. And it was at that moment that Swanna or something had Gumi, or Gumi climbed upon Swanna's back, and then it flew, and that's how it ended up with Ash. And we learned a little bit more from Clement and the bugs, and then we've seen this and when Gumi evolved into Slugoo. But there's also some more information. Based on the trailers that we have, we see one particular shot, and there will probably be two pictures. One will be a picture of Florges, a blue Florges, and there's like some smoke billowing from behind it, probably from some sort of explosion of some kind. Then you will also see an image of Gumi with Wooper and a silhouette of Florges. When I first did my opinions of Goodra's past or whatever in that other video, I didn't realize it until I saw the video or saw the photo again. I'm like, what would be making that silhouette in front of Gumi and Wooper? And as it turns out, it's a perfect match to Florges. So there is that. Not only is it not just Florges and that Gumi shot, what we also have is a image, which you'll see, that has Goodra sleeping with Pikachu, Dedenne, and Wooper. I don't think there's anything else. I think there's only 4 Pokemon: Pikachu, Goodra, Wooper, and Dedenne. So you'll see that all seems to implicate that Goodra is going to be released, which is very unfortunate. Now, I understand that from that basis alone, that it's not enough. It's not enough to assume that Goodra is being released. However, let's go a little bit in depth of what this would mean. If Goodra is released, like certain implications have pointed out to us, it would be because Goodra needs to stay and protect its homeland from all the bug Pokemon or the fairy Pokemon or whatever it is that happened on that tragic day for Goodra. Now, I have a little bit of problems with this simply because, well, why does it have to be Goodra in particular? Why couldn't Wooper evolve into Quagsire and learn some powerful poison type attack if it can learn it and do that? Or maybe a lot of the Pokemon themselves need to be possibly needs to be with other Pokemon that actually team up and go. So why is Goodra being involved into this? We're not sure right now. I will get into the theories later on of how I feel about this, but let's continue on with the particular evidence. Now you're going to see the most shocking, if you haven't already seen it, the most shocking evidence that Goodra is going to be released. No, it's not 110% confirmation evidence that it's going to be released, but it is quite shocking. Especially if you know the context behind it. So first off, let me show you two other photos and you can get an idea of what to expect. So first off, what we're going to see is Serena's bio page. You notice something? That's right, there's a Braixen on there. So let's go on to Clement's bio page. What do we see? Luxray, Chespin, Bunnelby. And as with Serena's bio page, I forgot to mention the Pancham. So, now what's the shocking thing about this? That's right. Notice anything? I see Ash. I see Pikachu. I see Frogadier. I see Fletchinder, and I even see Halucha. But what I do not see is I do not see Goodra. Now, I realize this may not mean anything at this moment. However, if you recall, back when Diamond and Pearl was happening, there was a glitch in a movie bio error in regards to the, what was it, the Arceus movie. We had all the Pokemon at the time that we knew of, but there was one Pokemon missing at that particular time, and that was Dawn's Ambipom. Now, as we all know, around the Arceus movie, Dawn actually released Ambipom to go off and battle with Ping Pong. So that's why that image that I showed you of Ash's bio is extremely shocking. Because why is Goodra not on there? They spoiled Braixen before Braixen actually evolved, and it won't. But what we do not see is we do not see Goodra in Ash's bio page. Now, it could just be some oversight, but let's keep in mind that the viewers that watch the television show, and if the trailers have actually showed on television in the Japanese television, sorry, I got a little confused there. But anyway, if it's already shown on TV, in TV Tokyo, then viewers should already know that Ash is going to have a Goodra, simply because of the shot of the gym battle, when it was Clement versus Ash, and it was Heliolisk, we also see a Goodra there. Now, maybe some Japanese executive producer for TV Tokyo or the anime producers might think, well, maybe they won't think that it's actually Goodra that actually belongs to Ash. Maybe it's some other Goodra. But let's look at other points of evidence. We see Goodra in Ash's eye. Now, maybe the argument could be, well, we don't see it very often, so how are we going to know that? But the final nail in the coffin just so happens to be the shot of Pikachu, Goodra, Wooper ended in it. Now, I don't know about you, but I would be pressed hard to... the logic side of my brain would be very confused as to why anyone would think that particular shot would be of a different Goodra. So we've already addressed that everyone should know about Ash's Goodra. Especially if you watch the opening. They pretty much imply that Goomy is going to fully evolve into Goodra anyway. So there is no one out there that doesn't know that Ash doesn't have a Goodra. So then why is it that Goodra is not on the bio page on Ash's team? Now, there are some theories here. One, Goodra might not actually be in the movie. Might not have any sort of role, and all those other characters may have roles. But I'm pretty sure there have been examples of movie bios of their Pokemon where they didn't actually show up. Could be wrong. I might be wrong. I'm not really sure. I don't know if there's like some sort of archive where they keep the bio pages of all the Pokemon. So I don't know if that's the thing. The other possibility, which seems a little bit less likely, is that there's just not enough room. I say that's not as likely because if that was really the case, I would think maybe taking out Fletchinder or Frogadier. Well, no, not Frogadier, because Frogadier was actually in another fashion where it was actually relevant. But maybe like Hawlucha or something. I mean, Hawlucha got the first XY movie, so maybe Goodra and play. But so I don't exactly see that as the case. So that heavily implies that Goodra is going to be released. Now, let's talk into my feelings and thoughts about this. I'm going to have to warn you, I'm not exactly happy about where this is going to possibly lead. So, I might get a little bit angry, but I will try to keep my tempers off camera, basically. So, you know, like, after I say goodbye, you're going to hear smashing and crashing all over the place. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I have a problem with this for many, many reasons. The primary reason that I have a problem with this is because I hate when the executive producers, in conjunction with the writers, give Pokemon to Ash that are overall pointless. Trust me, it being in Clement's gym, even helping Ash get his voltage badge is not enough for me to say that Goodra was an overall pointless. And the reason for that is it would seem that they only gave Ash Goodra in the first place so it could battle against Clement. Because if we look at Ash's team minus Lagoo right now, almost all the Pokemon except Pikachu are weak against electric types. You know, Hawlucha's weak, Frogadier, Fletchinder, you know, and the only one that would stand up to any of Clement's Pokemon by itself would be Pikachu. So I can understand that they gave Goodra to give a little bit of padding to Ash's team so it could protect it from that electric weakness. But what I have a problem with is giving a Pokemon solely to Ash just for that gym battle, only for it to be released. Because then it would make it pointless. Now, I want to address some other things as well, not just that. You know, I mean, but I want to give you an examples of what I mean. Butterfree. Butterfree may have been used in a gym, maybe. I can't quite remember. I think it may have been used against Misty. I think Butterfree was used against Starmie, if I remember correctly. But it didn't exactly help Ash get the badge. In fact, in that case, the only thing that helped Ash get the badge was saving the Cerulean Gem from Team Rocket, and Misty's sisters deciding that if Ash actually used Pikachu, Misty would have lost, okay? So, anyway, what we have is that we have Butterfree, we even have Primeape. Primeape is the best example of this, giving Ash a Pokemon that has no point. I mean, at that particular point, Ash was catching Pokemon left and right, kind of like 5th generation. And he already had, in Muck and Tauros, they were all in the Pokemon, they were all in, They were all at Professor Oak. So why Primate had to be released just a few short episodes after its capture, even though it really didn't do anything, is really confusing me because it would make no point. Now, I can understand that maybe when the writers made that episode, they thought, well, yeah, maybe Ash should catch another Pokemon just for the heck of it. But it's not really meant for a real capture. Maybe it's supposed to be a Pokemon that's going to be released and stuff. But the problem, and why it's a problem with Goodra, is that the writers make you invested into this character. Now, I don't really care if people think Goodra is going to be a success or not, or whether it should be on the team or not, because Ash caught it. Ash caught Gumi. It fully evolved. He used it in a gym. The investment that's already there should outweigh any personal likes or dislikes of the actual character of Goodra itself. Because for me, no matter what Pokemon it is that Ash has, I'm going to like it. Even if Ash captures a Skiddo. The most bland, boring Pokemon at this particular moment, if Ash caught Skiddo, I would be invested in it. I may not like that he caught it, but I'd have to be invested in it, and I'm sure I would like Ash's Skiddo, even though he actually got a Skiddo in the first place. But anyway, the problem is, that's just not good. That the writers, the executive producers of the show, would have a marketable Pokemon like Gumi or even Goodra, giving it to Ash, making it seem like they actually care about Ash's team, only for them to release it a few episodes after capture. At this particular moment, we're looking at about 15 episodes that Ash ever had the entire Pokemon. 15 pointless episodes with a pointless Pokemon. So yeah, I'm not exactly happy right now about the possibility of release. Now let's get into other problems that I have with this. The next problem is that it would be a setback to Ash's team. There is no benefit to Goodra being released. Unlike, say, Gliscor being released for Gibble, that's not the case here. The case here is if Ash releases Goodra, Ash is going to be backed for Pokemon, and even though he doesn't have to worry about Clement anymore, his Pokemon are still weak against electric types. Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if there is a trainer that is going to appear in Sligoo's evolution that might have an electric Pokemon. Maybe his name is Tierno? With Raichu, maybe? You know, and who knows what other Pokemon there out there might be. Sorry, that may have been a little confusing, I apologize. Who knows what other trainers with Pokemon are going to be out there for. You know, Dragon types just aren't... Goodra just wasn't a good defense against electric types. It was a good defense against grass, fire, and water. You know, the other types that Dragon types resist. I don't know if there's anything else, but yeah. You know, we have fire. We have, well, maybe bug. Maybe it would have been a defense against bug. I'm not really sure, but I think Dragon types resist bug. Maybe. I don't know. Let me actually look real quick before I appear to be a moron sometimes. You know, sometimes I kind of get a little confused about matchups, especially when they add a new typing. So, let's go with a pure Dragon type. We'll go with Dratini. Okay, so no, it only resists fire, water, electric, and grass. Kind of like what I thought. The bug thing threw me off, I don't know why. Maybe because fairy types resist bug types for whatever reason. Alright, so anyway. So yeah, that's my problem. The investing of the... never mind. Sorry. The problem is that Ash is going to have 4 Pokemon. He's going to have pretty much the same Pokemon as he did in the first movie as he is going to have the second movie. The only difference is that he's going to have Frogadier. Now, I understand that maybe some people will be like, wait, hold on, Dustin. Wait, time out, Dustin. Maybe Ash will capture another Pokemon before the movie. Well, unfortunately, of all the Pokemon that we know that's going to appear in the movie, including the short, there really isn't anything that Ash can have. I mean, I suppose you could say, well, maybe he's going to capture a Hoopa, but there was some confirmation within the movie that, due to the summary, that Ash isn't going to get a Hoopa, for example, so we can't exactly say that for sure. Now, I'm going to just take a quick look and see exactly what exactly is confirmed for this particular movie. Okay. Alright, for the movie itself, we have almost all the other Pokemon. You know, we have Pikachu, we have Frogadier, we have... Oh, that's a human. Okay. Pancham, Braixen, you know, and, Clement doesn't seem to have any Pokemon out for some reason. Oh, Chespin. Okay. And Dedenne, I guess, but I don't really usually count Dedenne. So, what we have for the special right now is... What? What? Are you serious? I'm sorry, you're probably not going to see this because I'm going to edit, but in case you do see this, Bulbapedia is upsetting me with the fact that they didn't add all the Pokemon that was seen in the Pokemon short. From the trailer, even. And the trailer came out like a few days ago, so I'm a little annoyed that they didn't manage to keep that up. Pokemon in the Pokemon band. Okay. Pray that the poster will be here. Alright, so anyway, finally found a picture, as opposed to a list. What we have for the Pikachu short, we have a Gothita. We even have a Snorlax. We have a Florges, a Noibat. And that's pretty much it that I'm aware of the Pokemon that are going to show up. I don't know about the trailer. Alright, looking at the end shot, we do have some interesting choices here. At the end shot of the official trailer for the Hoopa movie, that includes Hoopa, we have a screenshot of the Pikachu short. And you'll probably see an image somewhere around here. I don't know. Somewhere. You'll see it. What we have here is we have Noibat. We also have Torchic. We even have Snorlax. And then the interesting thing is we also have Gurgeist in that. So, what we have here is we have 4 interesting choices. I don't know why Snorlax would be there, but we know that Ash already has a Snorlax, so the odds of Ash bringing back Snorlax wouldn't make any sense, since as far as we know it doesn't have a Mega Evolution, and so far, considering it's March, we have no word of whether or not there's going to be another Pokemon game being released this year. It's probably going to be next year, so I don't know if that's going to be 7th Gen, or even the next X, Y, 2 games, or even Z. I don't know. We also have Torchic. Now, the odds of that actually going to Ash is very not likely. My best guess is that it might go to Clement. I mean, if we assume that Torchic belongs to anyone, I know people would think Serena, but the problem that I have with Serena is that May is the reason why I don't think Serena getting a Torchic would make any sense. But it might happen. But then there is that character within the actual opening that we saw with the Trico. Would they give Ash a Torchic after so long, and that would be his Mega Evolution Pokemon? But I'll get into the Mega Evolution theory in just a moment. Then we also have... nope, I think that was it. Except one final Pokemon, and that's Noibat. Now, some theories and rumors have gone around saying that Noibat is going to be the replacement for Gumi. Or Goodra, sorry, Goodra. Now, I have a few problems with that for many reasons. For one thing, you're going to give a pure dragon type, a pseudo-legendary Pokemon, you're going to get rid of that just for Noibat. Noibat isn't even a dragon type. Okay, let me rephrase that. Noibat may be a dragon type Pokemon based on typing, but it sure is no dragon Pokemon. Goodra is far more of a dragon Pokemon. Even Tyron and Tyrantum, those are more dragon types than Noibat. Noibat, as far as I am aware, can only learn 2 dragon types. Now, that may have changed as a result of the Oras, or Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and I'm going to check real quick Noibat's moveset. But the problem that I have is Noibat would be Ash's 3rd flying type. Now, I realize that they really do not care about Ash's team. They really do not, evident by the fact that they might release Goodra. But let's just look here. I'm not saying Noibat and Noivern are bad Pokemon, but for Ash at this moment, they kind of are. So let's look at their moveset real quick. Let's look at Noibat. Noibat cannot learn any dragon types normally. It can't. It may be a dragon type, but it can't learn any dragon types by itself. So let's go into the TMs. Let's see, what do we have here? We have Draco Meteor, Omega. Okay, we have Dragon Pulse for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. We have Outrage. Oh, it looks like we're getting a little bit better in terms of dragon types. So we have Outrage, we have Dragon Pulse, and we have, what was the other one? Nope, just Outrage and Draco Meteor, or 3. Outrage, Draco Meteor, and Dragon Pulse. Well, geez. But let's look at Noivern. Noivern, I think, is just a tad bit better. What do we have for Noivern? For Noivern, it learns Dragon Pulse naturally. Ooh, nice. Okay, it learns Dragon Pulse naturally. It can learn Dragon Claw. Okay, there we go. We're getting a little bit better. Learn Outrage, Draco Meteor. Hoo-hoo-hoo! 1 extra move from Noibat. Can learn moves naturally, can learn Dragon Pulse naturally, unlike Noibat. But Noibat, the only difference between Noibat and Noivern is Dragon Claw. Whoop-de-doo! Let's actually go to Goodra now real quick, and we'll just see exactly what it can learn. It can learn Outrage naturally. It can learn Dragon Breath, Dragon Pulse, Outrage. Oh, I already said Outrage. My bad. Dragon Tail. And Draco Meteor. So I can learn the only difference between Goodra and Noivern is the fact it can learn Dragon Breath as well as Dragon Tail with the sacrifice of Dragon Claw. Not exactly happy with that. So, I don't see it as a possibility. It could happen, but I don't. So let's get into the final possibility of Goodra being released. What if they are making room for Ash with the Mega Evolution? Now, I have problems with that for many various reasons. For one thing, Ash still needs to capture another Kalos Pokemon. The next problem that I have is that there aren't really any decent Mega Evolutions to give Ash at this particular moment in time without excluding the Pokemon that he already has. So let's look of all the Mega Evolutions that have been released so far. Venusaur excluding it because he already has Bulbasaur. He's not going to capture another one and fully evolve it. Charizard. As I said, I'm excluding all Pokemon that he has. That excludes Blastoise. Alakazam. I don't see it happening because we haven't seen any evidence of this of sort. Gengar. Not likely. Kangaskhan. Well, not likely. Pinsir. I'd honestly prefer Noivern because at least it'd be a dragon flying as opposed to a bug flying. Even if Pinsir would actually... No, it would pretty much be even, but I'd prefer Noivern in that particular instance. Gyarados. I have no idea why. Water Dark. Is that supposed to mean that Ash isn't going to get Greninja? Absolutely not. Now, I will admit Mega Aerodactyl would be kind of awesome with Ash, but Ash with an Aerodactyl, what would be the point? Mewtwo? Not going to happen. Ampharos. Don't see it happening. Scizor? Now that would be an interesting choice, but again, I don't see Ash capturing a Scyther evolving into Scyther, or Scyther evolving into Scizor, and then getting Mega Scizor, so I don't exactly see it. Heracross? Excluding it. Houndoom? Not really likely. Tyranitar? That would be interesting, but the only Tyranitar that would make any sense is if Ash captured Larvitar. Blaziken? Well, there is a Torchic in the Pikachu short. But don't you think Mega Blaziken being with the Blaziken mask would mean that it wouldn't make any sense? But whatever. But it's also a possibility. I will admit, of all the ones that I've just said, Mega Blaziken has the most evidence going for it, simply for the fact that there's a Torchic in the Pikachu short. Whether it's for Ash or not, or it's just a random Pokemon, that's not up to me to decide. Mega Gardevoir? Yeah, let's give Ash a Pokemon that Diantha is responsible for. Yeah, why not? You know, let's forget about Goodra. Let's just give Ash a Gardevoir. Mawile? That would be interesting, but I don't see it as likely. Aggron? Ash capturing an Aeron and fully evolving to Aggron would be okay if it wasn't for the fact that Paul already has an Aggron. Medicham. Now that would be an interesting choice, but I don't really see it as a possibility. Mega Manectric? Yeah. I will believe that when Ash actually captures a different electric type. The thing is, Manectric isn't even a dual type. I mean, I would have thought Ampharos would have made more sense than Manectric. Bayonet? No, that would be nice if it wasn't for the fact that I would always prefer Phantup over Bayonet as a ghost type. But that's just my personal opinion. Mega Absol? I don't know about you, but I think I'd prefer Serena with the Mega Absol. Latios? Well, considering that the creators of Pokemon Game Freak decided to hell with differentiating the two, really, I don't know if there's any difference between Mega Latios and Mega Latios, but let's forget the fact that it's probably not going to happen. If it does happen, Latios. But I just don't see it as happening. Garchomp? Yeah, like Ash is going to bring back Gible and fully evolve into Garchomp, especially when we have a Mega Evolution plot in regards to Garchomp. You know what? That might be the second most likely choice for Ash, actually. Because we have a Mega Evolution episode coming up and it involves a Garchomp, and we're definitely going to see Mega Garchomp. Ash has a Gible. Ash could recall Gible and fully evolve it. The only problem that I have with that possibility is you would bring back Gible to fully evolve it into Garchomp, one of Cynthia's signature Pokemon, and get rid of Goodra for it. I like Garchomp as much as the next person, but Goodra is now. Garchomp would be a hypothetical that's probably not going to happen. So anyway, let's move on. Mega Lucario. Yeah, right, sure. We just saw a whole arc with Corinna and her stupid Lucario. Ash is going to get a Mega Lucario. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Mega Abomasnow. Yeah, I don't want anything that looks like it's going to just stay there and just fire ice turrets at the other Pokemon, because at least the other Pokemon that I mentioned had at least some mobility things going for it. Except maybe Gengar, but that's only because it's awkward looking. But Mega Abomasnow, I really couldn't see the point. Might as well just save that for Wolfric, if anything. Alright, let's go to the ORAS versions of this. Mega Beedrill. That would actually be kind of cool, to be honest with you. Mega Beedrill, but, you know, Ash already gave rid of his Beedrill that he was allowed to keep, so I don't see it. Mega Pidgeot, not likely to happen. It would be interesting if that was actually changed to a Dragon Flying. No, I meant a Fairy Flying. There we go, that's what I meant. Really don't see it as a possibility. I might see it happening, but I don't know. I don't think Pidgeot's going to return. Mega Slowbro. Have you seen Mega Slowbro? Do you really think that Ash is going to get a Mega Pokemon where it has to hop around on its pointy tail at the end? Really? I can't even see the point of Mega Slowbro anyway. Besides, it'd be a weird Pokemon to give to Ash anyway. Not figuring in its water type. Mega Steelix. Now that would be nice. Mega Steelix would be kind of cool. I have to admit, Mega Steelix would be pretty nice if it wasn't for the fact that Brock already had an Onix and Steelix. That, well, to be fair, Ash did try to capture an Onix in that XY series, but still, I don't really see it. Mega Sceptile? We're going to exclude that because Ash already has a Sceptile. And I was excluding all Pokemon they already had. Swampert would be pretty interesting, but I almost think it'd be kind of cooler to see Serena with Mega Swampert. Yeah, having a Mega Evolution within Pokemon showcases would have been pretty interesting. Mega Sableye? Yeah, I don't want Ash to get a Pokemon that should have gotten an Evolution instead of a Mega Pokemon. At the very least, Dunsparce is not one of the Mega Evolution list Pokemon. Mega Sharpedo? Not going to happen because it's a fish Pokemon and I don't think Ash is going to get one. Mega Camerupt? That would be kind of interesting, but kind of weird, so I don't really see it. Mega Altaria? Would prefer Goodra. Mega Glalie? Ash has Glalie, so I'm sacrificing Glalie right now, putting it aside. Salamence, although Mega Glalie would be pretty awesome, although why it's only Ice and not Ice Dark is a little confusing, but whatever. Mega Salamence? Yeah, no, probably not going to happen. Mega Metagross. Wait a minute. Oh, that's right. Latios and Latios were in the XY series. They were one of the hidden Pokemon. Okay, but I don't know why you doubled up on it, the Cerebi. Anyway, Mega Metagross. I will admit that Mega Metagross isn't exactly the most appealing Mega Evolution, but I would have to admit that Ash getting a Metagross would be kind of cool. The only problem that I have with it is if he gets Beldum, Metang, and Metagross to just get a Mega Evolution, as there are too many characters that have already showed up with that particular Pokemon. I would honestly prefer Camerupt or even Sableye over, or even Steelix over Metagross in a lot of ways. Rayquaza? Yeah, Ash is going to capture a uber legendary and a Mega Evolve it. Yeah, let's just see that happen. If that happens, I'm going to make a video of me just laughing my ass off. Because Ash with a Mega Rayquaza would be the most hilarious thing that ever happened. And I don't mean it's funny, ha-ha in a way. It would just be straight up amusing just to see the fan reactions of Ash actually catching a Rayquaza and evolving it into a Mega Rayquaza and somehow losing the league. Well, unless, of course, maybe Mega Gardevoir or whatever could probably take on Rayquaza. Although I do have to criticize Mega Rayquaza's signature attack that it learns, and unfortunately the problem that I have with it is that it is a flying type as opposed to a dragon type. Because we don't have enough dragon types, apparently. Although I guess it would make sense to give it a move where it can actually hit almost all the types. Okay, so let's move on. Mega Lopunny. Yeah, I think May's more likely to get a Mega Lopunny and come back. Or not May, Dawn. Dawn is more likely to have a Mega Lopunny and come back as opposed to Ash. Mega Gallade? Now that would be kind of cool. But, you know, Gardevoir, I always have to prefer Gardevoir to Gallade, but maybe Ash would be better off with Gallade. Mega Audino? I can't imagine why Ash would capture an Audino just to fully evolve it. Although in some instances Audino would be preferable. So then we're last with the final one. Oh, they gave me Classic. How nice. Mega Diancie. Now, Diancie may very well indeed be a legendary Pokemon. But it is, I believe, only a 600 base stat total Pokemon, like, say, Garchomp or Goodra. And I said Garchomp first because Garchomp actually has a Mega Evolution, while Goodra does not. So Diancie could actually might happen. The only problem is I'm not really sure they would go for it. Although I do have to admit, it would be interesting to give Ash a very feminine-looking Pokemon. But then again, Ash almost had Meloetta, didn't he? Shame that didn't happen. Anyway, so my top choices that I am left with of Pokemon that seem the most likely, excluding the Pokemon he already has that could Mega Evolve, is basically Blaziken due to the Torchic, as well as... Nope, I think that's pretty much it. Of the Pokemon he has, the most likely choices that we have are, if we go to the top here of the new ones, Mega Sceptile is probably the most likely. I would say Charizard probably would be above that, but since we've already seen Charizard being used, I don't really see Charizard Y being used at all. So, Mega Charizard Y. So, Sceptile seems a little bit more likely. Possibly because of the Trico rival or kid in the opening may give Ash a Sceptilite or whatever. But, you know, maybe not. Okay, so then the next likely one would probably be Glalie. Glalie seems like a good choice for Ash. As for classic Mega Evolutions that ever appeared, the other one would be Mega Evolution or Mega Charizard Y, and the least likely choice is probably Heracross. Well, okay. Now, for other choices, Mega Garchomp probably could be very likely. The only problem is that, well, like I said, there's that Sycamore episode, and I can't imagine Sycamore giving Ash a Mega Ring as well as a Garchompite or whatever, and then fully evolving as Gible, because that'd be kind of demeaning to Goodra. Now, I'm sorry, I talked about Mega Evolution a little bit. I apologize. But, so, what if Goodra is being released so Ash can get his final Kalos Pokemon as well as Mega Evolution Pokemon? The problem is that, unless it was a brand new Pokemon, or a Pokemon that needed to evolve, I honestly couldn't see the point. Right now, if Ash gets a Mega Sceptile, he may as well just wait off on that. Let's keep Goodra for a long time. So, that's my problems with Goodra being released. Everything except there's one final thing that I want to say. I wouldn't have had a problem with Goodra being released if it was after League and it was before Ash moved on to the next generation. If this is hypothetically Ash's last series of being in the show, as some theories have stated, and they're going to start fresh next generation, kind of like how I believe Ken Sugimori said within the 7th generation that they're going to completely screw everything up because they just want a brand new fresh start, basically. I think he even said some of the Pokemon aren't going to even be added, if I'm not mistaken, or especially they're going to thin out the moves, as if, as if there really is any reason to get rid of moves or whatever, just to simplify Pokemon, because Ken Sugimori, I believe, thought that it was just too over, whatever the case may be, so who knows, maybe Ash might get the boot, and that's my problem. Ash getting rid of Goodra at this critical juncture that he may actually lose the league is why I have a serious problem with this. But that's my all thoughts. I'm actually surprised that I'm not actually as angry as I would be at this particular point. I might as well just have depression or sadness over the possibility of Goodra being released. I personally don't want Goodra to be released. This is the first time within the show in terms of writing that I've actually seen outside of Diamond and Pearl in regards to Ash's Pokemon that they've actually cared about Ash's Pokemon. First generation, they didn't know what the hell they were doing. Second generation, he may as well not had any Johto Pokemon. Because the only one that actually mattered in the end was Charizard and Pikachu and Snorlax. And he caught those before Johto. Third generation, they did a little improvements, but it's not like Ash had any powerhouse in the league except Glalie. That was the only fully evolved Pokemon they had. Then we have fourth generation, and that's where we get some really nice fully evolved Pokemon. We have Torterra, we had Infernape, we had Staraptor, Gliscor even, so that was really nice, so like I said, fourth generation was really good. Fifth generation, sure, Ash had Crocodile, Vanny, and Unfezant. And he had a weird Boldore collection of a Pokemon, whatever. But the problem is that team was so horribly screwed over. There wasn't enough battles, there wasn't enough screen time for the Pokemon, that it seemed minimum bare bones. So then what do we have in fifth generation? We know Ash was going to capture a lot of Pokemon because looking at the rate of Pokemon, it would make no sense. It wouldn't make any sense for Ash to be shoved a whole bunch of Pokemon now after we've already, with Clement being the 5th gym leader. Ash only currently has 5 Pokemon now. So it would be a little bit hard for me to believe that Ash is going to capture Pokemon left and right, especially if they're making up some bull crap about Goodra being released. And I would have thought this team would have been perfect. Pikachu, Talonflame, Greninja, Hawlucha, Goodra, Phantup, or whatever his final Pokemon would have been. Could even be a Mega Evolution. Screw it. Maybe Ash with 4 Kalos Pokemon would have just been fine with me. If it meant having Goodra, Greninja, and Talonflame being on the same team. Being within the same battle. The problem with Goodra being released so soon after capture is it makes Goodra pointless. I really don't care if it comes back to the league, because it's going to be, whenever Goodra is going to be released to the point it comes back, there's going to be all those episodes that Goodra will not have shown up. Now maybe Goodra will just be in its location, maybe there will be some protector there, and maybe Goodra will be used against the gyms. The only problem is I want to see Goodra being out with the other Pokemon. I want to see Goodra having other storylines. I don't want Goodra to have a little bit more than Palpitoad, but being used for Palpitoad. Palpitoad didn't get anything. Palpitoad wasn't used for anything, except for battles. All it showed up was for the Dawn Battle Tournament, where it battled against Burgundy's Stoutland and that one dude's Darumaka. Then the next time we see it against Alessa's Zebstrika. And then we see it next against Roxy's Garbodor, which it didn't even do anything. Then it was against Stefan's Zebstrika. I don't want Goodra to be relegated to that role. The only difference between Goodra and Palpitoad is that Goodra actually has a personality so far, and at least it has a backstory and a lot more development into it. But it's just going to be another Palpitoad if it stays in wherever it grew up to protect it, but it can be called upon in gyms. If Ash releases Goodra now, and then we see it in the gym against Valerie, it's going to be completely. It's not going to feel right. Goodra should be on the team. Ash should be allowed to have a powerful Pokemon on his team throughout his series. He would have to deal with a lot of issues. He may have to deal with a rampaging Mega Garchomp. The only Pokemon that Ash would ever have that would actually go up against a Mega Garchomp, considering the fact that it's a Dragon Ground type, would be Goodra. Goodra may be weak against Dragon Claw and Dragon Tail or whatever, but at least Goodra would stand a better chance than Pikachu, where Pikachu just gets knocked one mud shot if Garchomp can learn that, or Dig or some other ground type move. Well, there goes Pikachu. Frogadier, will Garchomp resist Frogadier's attacks? The only thing that would do neutral damage would be Aerial Ace and maybe Cut. Forget Fletchender. Fletchender's not really going to do anything with its flying attacks. Razor Wind would probably be its strongest attack against Garchomp, Mega Garchomp. That's not really going to do anything. Or let's take Hawlucha. Well, Hawlucha might be the most neutral against Garchomp, considering it has the most neutral disadvantage against Garchomp, as well as Hawlucha being a flying type. So Hawlucha might actually stand a better chance, but it's not really going to do very much. You know, even if Goodra would be weak against Mega Garchomp, it would at least stand a little bit better chance against a rampaging Mega Garchomp than any of Ash's other Pokemon. And I really don't want to wait until Talonflame or Greninja or whatever the hell Ash's last gym or Pokemon member for Ash to have a strong Pokemon, you know? I don't get it. If you didn't want, and this is for the writers and executive producers, if you didn't want Ash with a powerful Pokemon this early, then why would you give him a Goodra in the first place? It could have been as simple as giving Ash a Phantup or even a Skiddo for Launch Gym. May not have made sense, but maybe you could have done some really cool things with Phantup or Skiddo that would have justified it beating Luxray. You know, maybe even, maybe in the beginning, maybe Clement uses Luxio to attack said Pokemon, but it has some skill and Luxio is like knocked out. Then Ash goes in and captures said Pokemon or whatever, and then maybe it'd be a little bit more even for the gym, so it would make sense. Considering that even I don't think Goodra is going to take Luxray on straight off, I don't really see that much of a point. So, I've already discussed all I can. I kind of have a little bit more editing to do with this video. I'm sorry. I wish I had a lot more to say about this. But right now, all I have is what you have. This is a special interruption between third generation reflections and second generation reflections. So, I just need to get this out on the opening. Get this out in the open and discuss my frustrations and how upset that I am that Goodra potentially may be released. Because Goodra would have been the best thing that would have ever happened to Ash's team. Looking back out of all of Ash's Pokemon, Goodra by itself, regardless of whether or not Goodra is likable or not, is the best thing to happen to Ash's team. You want to release Goodra and make it up? The only shot you have is bringing back Gible. But before you give me Mega Garchomp, or even Mega Blaziken, I would have to ask that Ash's last Pokemon be a Phantup. Because there really isn't anything on Ash's team that I really liked currently. Well, except with the exclusion of Frogadier and Froakie and possibly Greninja. There was really nothing that Ash had that I really liked. I had my own choices. I wanted Ash with Inkay so it could evolve into Malamar. So Ash would have that really cool Malamar-looking Pokemon. I wasn't going to get that. I wasn't going to get Ash with a Delphox. And I would have preferred Delphox over Greninja simply because that's my favorite. But I guess in terms of Ash having a Greninja or Delphox, Greninja would be a lot better from a non-biased perspective. So there went my hope of Ash getting a Delphox. I also wanted Ash with the Tyrant, evolve into Tyrantum, because it would have been awesome to see Ash on top of a Tyrantum and riding it. You know, it would have been awesome. We haven't even seen Tyrantum within the anime. You know? And there's Aegislash, but I don't know if I want to sacrifice Phantup. And we all know Phantup isn't going to happen, even though it hasn't shown up in the anime yet. I mean, it has shown up in the movie, but the movie doesn't really count. It still hasn't shown up in the television series. And it is one of the most likely choices it's going to cut. But then there's the fear that Ash is going to capture a Bergmite, and I really don't want Ash with a Bergmite. Goodra was the only Pokemon that I actually wanted Ash with. Ash isn't going to get a blue Florges. Ash isn't going to get a lot of these other things. Well, I mean, I guess no matter what it was, I guess I would have accepted Florges. But Ash isn't going to get these cool Pokemon. Goodra was basically a compromise that I could accept on Ash's team. It would have been the coolest Pokemon on Ash's team. Now, when Ash captures a Greninja, even though its dub voice is going to sound like a gremlin, because they the dub refuses to make sure that if the Japanese people have different voice actors for different Pokemon, if there's some random Greninja that we're barely going to see as opposed to a main Greninja that we're going to see a lot more frequently, you would think that would be different. Okay, I like Frogadier voice. Frogadier's dub voice was kind of awesome. It was kind of weird for Frogadier, but it sounded awesome enough. But to say that Ash is going to get a Greninja, and we saw Senpai's Greninja's voice, it sounded like a horrible gremlin. A ninja! Or whatever. It sounded really awful. You know? And that's going to be Ash's dub Greninja. Now, I realize that doesn't mean anything. There's still Gekukura or Gekuka or whatever. Satoshi's Gekuka or whatever you want to call it. So maybe Ash's Greninja in the Japanese will sound better than the dub. So there's that to look forward to. But, you know, as cool as Greninja is going to be, it's not going to be enough. I'm sure Greninja is going to be an awesome Pokemon. But, you know, with Talonflame, that's just not going to be enough. Especially, Talonflame and Greninja is not going to be enough. Goodra was the coolest Pokemon that Ash would have ever had on his team. The only way that the writers could make it up is if Ash captures a Phantup before the movie. You know, because I don't know what the writers or executive producers are doing if they do indeed release Goodra. But I, for one, am not going to enjoy it whatsoever. Anyway, I've gone way over my limit. I apologize. There's a lot of things that I have to edit out, but as you can see, you're probably not even going to see this. But thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.